All right, ladies and gentlemen, this video is specifically for Officer Brandon Tatum. And, bro, I love you. I love you to death. I follow your channel. I follow your page. I follow you on YouTube. Listen to your stories, everything. Everything is 100% up front on the conservative side, if you ask me. I like your content. I like what you're saying. But this story about this Army officer, sergeant, whoever he may be, you got to fall back on that one, brother. You got to fall back on that one. The reason I'm telling you you got to fall back on that one is because you're making yourself sound very, very, like, one-sided on the deal, like you just trying to represent white folk. And I don't even get into racism stuff like that. I don't. You can scroll my Facebook. You can go to my Facebook, T. Wayne Caldwell. You can go to my Facebook, and you can see how I try to support the equality and everything. And I really don't get into it. I really call out black people like you do on a lot of the crazy stuff they do. Just like the whole thing with the young man that got shot by the police officer. You know, the taser gun thing. You know, I called that out too. And I agree that officer shouldn't be on the force. I could care less if it was a mistake or not, but I agree wholeheartedly that the situation should have never took place in the first place had the young man not done what he did. You know what I mean? So I agree with that. But only thing I'm saying to you is, B. Tatum, is from what you're trying to bring a conversation to the table, or you're trying to bring a narrative, not even a conversation. You're trying to create a narrative that this young African-American man who was walking in his neighborhood was doing something wrong just because they said it. You see what I'm saying? In other words, in every other post or every other video you had context to the story. You had the facts, you had the proof, you had everything up front to know what was there, what was right, what was wrong, who did what. And you were able to critique it from that point. But what you can't do with this story is you cannot take that and set it in the same category with the rest of them just because, mind you, the wife or the neighbor was the one that was recording the video. You don't know, even if the Army sergeant came out and saw the young man having a conversation with the neighbor, you don't know the context of that argument. You don't know if the neighbor approached that young man for walking down the street in that neighborhood. And let's focus on that point. You're telling me that you can tell someone to get out of your neighborhood just because they don't belong there, or you don't recognize who they are? That's none of your business. That's none of your business. They got the freedom of movement. They got the freedom. They got the right to walk down the street in any neighborhood they want to, as long as it's in the public. As long as they not bothering nobody's property. As long as they... What I'm trying to say is you starting to sound like these racist white folk. That's what you doing, Brandon Tatum. You starting to sound like these racist white folk. That's why I said check yourself and check your content. You're going to lose a lot of good followers behind that BS right there. I saw that young man do nothing wrong but be somewhere where I guess white folk don't like black people. So like I said, you don't even know the context of why the neighbor was arguing with him in the first place. May it be that she has a racist bone in her body and she came out and confronted that young man for no reason? May it be that she was impeding his right to travel, his right of movement? Maybe that's what he didn't know, but for the fact that it was a young black man in an unfamiliar neighborhood, then those people wanted to gang up on him. And remember, he didn't start recording anything. They did. And you made it clear that you don't know what happened beforehand. You made it clear that you don't know the context of why all this took place. So you shouldn't have made the video. Period. You shouldn't even be commenting on it in the way that you are, unless you're speaking in truth that the Army officer was wrong for what he did. I don't care who you are. This is still America. You don't walk around and put your hands on nobody and get up in their face and confront them and get mad telling them they can't be in a certain place out in public just because I guess they don't look familiar to you, and telling them they don't belong there. I don't care how much money you're paying to stay in the neighborhood or wherever you're at. You don't own the street. You don't own the sidewalks. That's the point. So yes, everything that Army officer did was totally wrong. Everything that neighbor did, I don't know if she was in the wrong or the right. But to start recording what she did and to put it on YouTube and to act like this was a racially charged issue, yes, that also was wrong. And I'm not even going to call it a racially charged issue. I am going to say that the way that she put it out there and the way that it came out, she didn't intend for that. But thanks to her, kudos to her that it came out that way. So that's all I'm saying to you, Officer Tatum. When it comes to those things, it laid out that way because she was the one who wanted to be quick to grab a camera and record. So it made it look like a racial issue, regardless of how you see it. That man didn't lay hands on that white guy, but he put hands on him. And if the neighbor called the cops and she already told the other neighbor that, then he should have fell back and waited for the police officers to get there and let them handle their job. Mr. Police Officer Brandon Tatum, if you really support the police like you say you do, let's let them do their job. So that's all I'm saying, brother, is on this one right here, no matter how you try to call it, no matter how you try to run it, it looks racial, bro. It looks racial. I'm not saying that it is, but it looks that way. And like I said, it was because of the neighbor who started recording like she did that opened up the groundwork for all of that to take place. So they got themselves into this dumb stuff. Just like you say, most of these young black men get themselves into this dumb stuff, which I agree. But in this situation, these white folk got themselves into this dumb stuff that's happening to them now. Because the same thing these young, uneducated African-American people do is the same thing they chose to do. And guess what? They got the same damn results. So don't try to cover up on behalf of them because of the color of their skin when they do something just as ignorant as what black folk do that you talk about all the time. Let's be real about it, bro. And I ain't got time like that to be making YouTube live videos and be on here posting stuff and all that kind of stuff. I'm sitting here at work trying to have a good time, trying to listen to your content. But every time you come up with that story right there, bro, you just put me all out of pocket because you out of pocket with it. You totally out of pocket with it. And I don't care if it's white, brown, black, green, yellow, orange, purple, blue. I don't care what color your skin is. Nobody has a right to tell another individual they don't have a right to walk down a damn sidewalk. Period, point blank, bottom line. And you can get mad about that all you want. But that's just the truth. And I'm going to tell you straight up, bro. I love you. I love you to death. But I don't know where you live. I don't know what state you stay in. But if I was ever in your neighborhood for whatever reason, and I'm walking down the street and you approach me like that, bro, I don't care who you is. Yeah, I'm dragging you. And that's the thing you need to know. Don't matter where you're from or what you do, it's going to be an issue, bro. It's going to be an issue. Most people don't look at things the way I look at them. Most people don't see things the way I see them. But when it comes down to certain things, bro, you really got to think. Are you telling the people the truth? Are you telling them the right thing? Because you don't want to be that Army sergeant and you don't want to be the one sitting out there trying to start something. I guarantee you if that Army sergeant was a black man, this story would have never made the news. I guarantee you if that Army sergeant was somebody else like you, it would have never been talked about. That ain't saying that, oh, because he was a white man, that's the only reason. No, but like I said, the black dude didn't start recording nothing. That was the neighbor, the white neighbor, right? So like I said, if you want to call it a racially charged issue, let's call it what it is. What I'm saying is, if it was a black Army sergeant that came out, vice versa from the story that we saw with the Army lieutenant, if it was black on black, then the news would never care about it in the first place. That's my problem. So the only thing I'm saying is let's be 100 on the content that we're putting out there and what we're saying about it, because we don't want to advocate for either. We're not here to advocate for either side. We're here to set the slate clean, get it straight, get it right. We're here to wake people up, to show them that racism isn't the issue. It's people's mindset. It's people's emotions. And it's people's embedded feelings and actions, learned behavior that is getting them into these situations. If you can't agree with that, brother, then I'm going to go ahead. I promise it won't hurt you none. I know you know it won't hurt you none. But I go ahead and unsubscribe from your page, and I leave you alone from here. But I like you. I love you. I want to keep watching your content. I want you to do the right thing, bro. But on this one right here, on that particular subject, on that story, you're not right. I'm just gonna call you out. You're not right. And don't be afraid to be a man. Either way, you're still a man. If you feel like it's right and you feel like you're right about that, then have it your way. Stand your ground. But still don't be afraid to be even more of a man and call out what's right and what's wrong. That's all I'm saying. And I said something about the publicity you've been getting and the people that you've been coming in contact with and the national publicity that you've been getting. That might have played a role in the way that you judged this video the way that you did. Now, you might sit here and deny that, but I'm going to be 100 with you. I believe that played a big role in the way that you interpreted this video, specifically. Because I believe it got into your mind that you must support these people at all costs to keep your platform going strong the way it's going. Keep your platform relevant to them. No, brother. If you're going to tell the truth, no matter who sees it, no matter who hears it. If they don't like it, they just don't like it. But don't bow down to nobody, and don't sit up there and try to make something cute and pretty for anybody. No matter if they're national television or not. Don't matter if it's a national radio station or national network. No matter who it is. Don't buttercream and don't try to sugarcoat nothing for them. They do enough of that themselves. That's about all I got to say, Officer Tatum.